Number 27 from the top end of Stevenson, singing loud, say it proud. Been a long time since I've done this. Grado!
Hello and welcome to this week's Open Mat. We are joined by wrestling superstar, hometown legend, Scottish royalty.
You think so?
And Grado, 100%.
Thank you, man.
Like you are...
Cunts know you, like.
No,
Few of them do.
like, you're well respected within a lot of different communities.
Do you think so?
100%.
I don't know, man.
I don't think there's MD out there who's got a bad word to say.
No, they have. Trust me, I've looked, and it's.
Well, that's
I
social
remember.
media. That's social media for
But
you.
I remember one time, the first time, I remember I went and searched up Twitter. Right, I was sitting. It was through the night, and I wrote into my search engine on Twitter. I wrote, "Grado cunt." Right, and now it brings up everything that would. Somebody's put Grado and cunt in the same tweet. Grado's a stupid cunt. Grado's the unfunniest cunt I've ever met. If I ever see that cunt Grado, he's going to do it. I was like, oh my God, man, some folk don't like me. Like, really, man.
Do you read comments?
I don't anymore.
Yeah, did you?
I don't know. Your man, your pal, Mr. Rogan, taught me that.
Just
Then you read them.
Just don't. And actually, I get wound up. Because this thing happens like, see if I go out for my dinner, and I put it on Instagram story. What a place this was, lovely plate of dinner and all the rest of it. Sometimes some like the Glasgow Times and all that will go, two doors down start eats at five-star restaurant, and I read it and I go, why is that an article? Because then it's just an open goal for folk to go, who gives a fuck, who's a daft, you know what I mean, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it is pretty cool that the people think that that's going to get clicks.
And it obviously does.
Aye.
Well, sometimes it gets to like, the most read thing yesterday was Grado has his dinner. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous.
That's when you know you're a star.
Well, you know what I mean. But what I'm saying is, I don't like see if there is an article like that, and my pals will go and send me the article, and I'll go, don't send me that, man. I don't care. Or, but it's fine. It's fine. I don't want to. Let's don't be negative, man.
I'm going to get negative. Like
Right,
just
go.
when you were saying about your pals there, did you find the more famous you got, the more people you had to cut out for your life?
No, I don't think I'm that famous. It's not to the point where you go, I don't need to be with you. I actually, it's the opposite. They cut me out, man. If I'm being legit, because my pals would go, what's the point of asking Grado to come out because he's away wrestling? So it was the opposite. Whereas I felt as if I missed quite a lot of stuff, and I only realised that now that I don't wrestle as much. But like, because I was away Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then when I was with TNA, I also worked in the fire brigade. So I would work 4 days on the fire brigade. I would finish the night my night shift, and then jump on a plane to America. Do 4 days in America wrestling, come back from a night shift. I mean, it was constant. And I look back at it now and I go, man, I was having the time in my life. Now, I mean, it's completely different now that I'm a dad, but But to your question, it's not been like that where I go, oh man, I can't hang about with that guy anymore. It's the complete opposite. I don't hang about with him enough.
For me, it was I didn't have to, but I made my circle tighter.
Yeah.
And my time, as you're saying, like your time, if you're doing 4 days in the US, 4 days on work, your time is precious.
Oh, 100%.
And to give it to somebody, and there's a lot of people out there that just want to steal your time.
That's a very difficult thing where people go, we need to get a coffee and all that, and I go, I can't even get a coffee with my real pals. You go, I'm sorry, mate, I can't do it. But I've got this thing where I can't say no to folk. It's the power of saying no is a thing that I've just no go. I agree to everything. I don't like letting them do done. So if somebody asks me to do something, I'll do it. It's just a weird thing. Like,
I do agree to fuck all. See, if you phone me and we're like, I need a lift for the airport, I'll fucking phone a taxi, because I'm not letting you make your problem my fucking problem.
no, but that's funny you say that, because my mate randomly said that at the weekend there. He was like, I've missed the last train for Glasgow, can somebody come and pick me up? And I done it. And he was like,
he's
MD.
He's stuck though. That's different.
Aye.
We were talking to boys at work, and one of them was like, one of them was stuck in Edinburgh. He's like, can you come and get me? He went, aye, but you'll need to give me 40 quid. I was like, is he know your mate? Like, and I was like, that's a shite thing to do.
Shite.
But if you phone me like, all right, mate, see a week the morning, I would make exceptions for people, but any chance you pick me up for the airport? Nah, mate, I've got to fucking get up early, drive through all that traffic, and if I'm fucking late, you get to be pissed off.
Aye.
Nah.
No, that's no.
So I'm all right with it. I didn't
In
even
regards
say no.
to vampires stealing your time, there's also that thing when you do go out, you don't actually get to be yourself. Like, because you're very noticeable.
Well, I've heard that a few times where my pals have said, they've told me the latest murder going to. I remember going to Kasabian years ago, and my pal, and it was just like, because I think I'm one of these people. I remember going out with Drew once and noticing that when people see Drew, it was how you doing, big man? And they would shake his horn and stuff like that. Whereas with me, it'd be like, he's Shane Grado. You know what I mean? Put my head in to all that. Can I
That's a character thing, the way.
Aye, the boy next door.
But then you don't want to go against the grain and be like, what the fuck you doing? Get your hands off me.
Aye, I could never do that. I'd be like, what are you like? And then I'd...
And then it would waste your night. Do you ever go out with a disguise? Like,
I just don't go out anymore, man.
No disguise, I mean, like, so I went to a gig, like, I'm nowhere, like, I can't get a big enough fake nose. But,
no, never,
I wear like glasses and put on a hat, just so, like, and I'm not saying I'm super famous in the UK, but
try and break it up a bit.
I just want to like see if I'm going there, like, so if I'm going to a gig, what I want is I want to sit there or stand there and enjoy it. I don't want people coming up and pestering me.
Do you know?
But I get it.
I actually feel sometimes quite uncomfortable talking about stuff like this on podcasts because I always think, I always get this, and I'm going to CBT now, cognitive behavioural therapy, MD. Greg, I know you've had some issues in the past, right? It's brilliant, right? Because they teach you about stop living in the mind of others, and it's a very hard thing to do. I trouble myself for that. What I would say is I'm comfortable talking about because I do go to Liam Gallagher, right? And it's like, it's just folk come up and pester you and you're right, your missus and stuff like that. I went to Liam Gallagher last year. It's funny because I thought I was walking into Hampden and folk were coming up and taking selfies and stuff like that, which is lovely, but it is a pain in the ass for my pals.
It's
and
also
my missus,
inconvenient, eh?
right? And I bought a bucket hat for the stall. And I was like, this is worked, man. Get in there. And it was the police who went, Grado! And I was like, mate, come on, man. And then everybody was
the best disguise ever.
You know what I mean? The police stuck me in it. But it's like, so Oasis are coming back next year, and I've bought tickets for the one down in Wales. Well, I think I have, because it was one of the dodgy sites.
As well, when you go to you go to gigs, and I might be like, right, I'll go to Manchester because maybe I'll let people know me, or I'll go here, and it does, and it's lovely that people know you and people are like, listen, I'm a massive fan. Like, I love that. But like, see, there's certain times where you're maybe having a bad day, or you're maybe having, like, right now, I'm on reduced calories.
Me too.
I'm away to a point. I'm away in a few days to fight, and I'm like, and you've still got to be that character of this nice guy, because the last thing you want is them going to.
It's your job.
I know, man.
It's your job, eh?
I met Grado the day in fucking Tesco, and he was a bit of a prick.
I remember my mate Fletcher's seen it firsthand where we were at the football one night, and I couldn't have been nicer to him. I was, how you doing, and banting away and all that. And the next day I got a tweet and I says, Fletch, look at this. So Grado was in the such and such part of Ibrox last night. I think like a wanker being a cunt to vote. And I was like, Fletch, look at this. He was like, I do not believe that. He was like, you couldn't have been any nicer.
But people are always going to say it. Like,
I know, mate.
You can't help
this is
it.
good. I like talking to you.
They can't help it because people are just fucking raging all the time. They're just fucking. It wouldn't matter. You can do shite, they'll say something. Do good, they'll say something. Doesn't fucking matter. John Jones is going to fight in a week, and somebody's going to say, "Mate, he's pish."
Aye.
And, like, it doesn't matter.
There's not one public person that's out there that doesn't have anybody that says a bad word about them.
Loads.
And that right there, really, isn't it?
Aye, when you think about it,
There's not one person. There's somebody's got something to say.
Like two of the greatest heavyweight UFC fighters ever are going to fight, and fucking there's going to be millions of comments saying they're both shite. Like, it's mind blowing, eh?
I know.
But in that world of combat sports, soccer, whatever it is your sport is, you are entitled to your opinion. You pay your money.
Free speech, can say what you want.
You can say that.
At the end of the day, you're right. They paid their money. They paid their tickets to get in. If they don't like it,
who gives a fuck?
Yeah. At the end of the day, who cares? But they have that right to have that opinion.
Yeah. I've been sucked in with it though. There's a boy, I've seen him write stuff on our TikTok before, and I know he's fighting at a show in Edinburgh this Saturday, and I got asked to go along to it, and I thought,
You just got to sit in the crowd and
I could just go and go, all right, mate, Mind when you said that.
So what did he? So say that again. What happened?
He wrote something about you.
Oh well.
And I was like, that's a strange thing for a guy to say.
Right.
And I know he's fighting this Saturday in Edinburgh, and I got asked to come along to the show, and I thought, I could just pull him up about that. And I'm like, why? Why would I do that? I don't know. He's a loser. So it's like
Is he solid?
No, he's for Fife.
Are you letting
for
it?
Fife as well.
Right. Do you get many hard men in Fife?
Nah, shite place. Stevie Ray, that's it. Only one.
Stevie Ray?
Aye.
Booker T's brother?
Oh, this guy's for Kirkcaldy.
How, can I ask you a question?
Go on.
Are you fear for nobody?
No, I'm fear to everybody.
Hey, but like...
Out in the street, somebody comes up to me and I get knocked out in a bar one night.
Does you really?
Like flatlined.
Aye.
Boy headed me right in the front of the mouth. And I just went...
That's a good one, to be fair.
I was. So
And this was during you after, like, when was this now?
I had actually just won a Scottish title.
Wow, how embarrassing.
I know, but this guy gets to dine out in this all the time. This guy gets to be like, I knocked out Paul Craig in a nightclub.
And do you... I don't think that affects you that much, does it? Are you quite, like, fair enough, that's what happened that night? Like,
You got to lean into it. Like,
aye. That's quite funny.
It's not a fight in the street. It's no like, oh, you want to fight in octagon? That's different. There's rules. I'm protected. Out in the street, you're not protected. Like, you can get like a madman like Ross just coming up and fucking absolutely caving your face in, which is different because it's the same as being a footballer and being the toughest guy in the park.
Yeah.
You can be the toughest guy in the ring on the night, but when you go outside,
you're just...
Most days are big softies.
That's right. That's funny, that. Do you like fighting outside the ring? No, are you a bit of
It happens.
brawler?
It happens. I try and avoid it now. But
Who was the last person that you gave a down to?
what day is today? Wednesday.
Wow, man.
Saturday.
Are you kidding on?
No.
Yeah, was it your job though?
Aye.
And what did he do?
Just
Called your name or?
a little bit worse than that. Try to just push and push and push. I got to be careful. You got to watch what you say. So, aye.
You care about things? I didn't think you cared about things like that.
I do just
I'm
now.
not kidding.
I do at the moment.
I
So I'm in a bit of trouble for something else.
Are you really?
Aye.
Isn't that interesting?
I don't know.
I love that.
I don't know if it's that surprising.
So you know each other through UFC? Fighting stuff like that.
For about 10 years.
Is that right?
Since you signed for the UFC, that was when I
It's been a
first.
while.
And I remember you come in the wrestling for a wee while, didn't you? You broke somebody's jaw.
Yes.
I love this story. Yeah.
That's the best. Have you told us quite a lot, but can you tell me
Not
it?
quite a lot. But
I want to know about it because I've got to admit, right? I remember bumping into you backstage at the Barrowlands, and I was very, very intimidated by you.
Were you?
I'm
a really, really nice guy.
I know that now. Because when I see your remote and stuff, I go, oh, he's actually quite a cute guy, man.
Scamp.
I go, look at you.
So what happened in the wrestling was they invited me along as I had just won my fight. I think it was maybe in like Sacramento. It wasn't. It was in Philadelphia. I had won the fight that week, like the Saturday. Had flown back home, and then they'd invited me down. Told was like, listen, you fancy coming in?
So he told arranged it?
Aye. So he was like, listen, this is what the story is. They're trying to get me out. They bring out Paul Craig. He does the old shaky hand. I slap his hand and punch him in the shoulder. And I says, listen, I'm not comfortable with that.
Aye.
And he said, listen, it's fine. Just hit him in the shoulder and it'll be fine. And I said, listen, I can't, my body's trained to fling a punch.
Yes.
So when I throw a punch, it's really hard. It's really hard to pull it.
I get that.
Like, you guys train that. I went, can I no slam him or like slap him or something like that? And it was Dallas. Dallas was like, no. He knows, just hit him in the shoulder. So as he comes up, he does the old shaky hand, slap his hand out the road, and as I recoil and I start to throw this punch, I'm like,
oh no,
this is right in line with his jaw, but ever so slightly. As I slap his hand, it goes like this. So it moves him ever so slightly into the line of fire, and I can see it, and I was like, boom, I hit him, and I knew straight away that I had broke his jaw, and he hits the deck, and I go over to Toll, and I'm like, Toll does this like, UFC fighter, Paul Craig, right? And I go down to give him a cuddle, but it's not he gave him a cuddle. I'm like,
what have I done?
Toll, I broke this guy's jaw. And he went, just go with it.
That is...
So I'm like the guy's proper, like, he's in pain, he's like you can see he's kicking the ground, all that kind of stuff.
Because it wasn't a wrestler, wasn't it? No, was it no like
a referee?
It's a referee.
Aye. So,
wow, sports man, that's the best.
So they pull him backstage, and after I go back out, and I'm like, listen, I'm really sorry, and he's there, and there's blood pissing out his mouth, and he's like holding his teeth, and there's teeth in his mouth, and he's like, no, I'm sorry, I shouldn't get in the line of your punch.
Oh no, man, apologising to you.
I felt horrible, man. I was like, oh my god. So Toad messaged me like a couple of days after, and he's like, can you sign a couple of bits of kit for him? Just, is that sorry? And I was like, aye, of course I can.
Oh my god, that's very wanted.
So I go back out into the crowd, and I'm there with one of my mates, and he goes, that guy sold that punch, didn't he? And I said, there was no sale. That's the best punch I've ever thrown in my life. Like, in my whole entire life of a 36-year-old man, that is money.
That's the one.
So you're 36.
Aye.
Look, and you're 35.
Aye. I look much better.
Look at you. I just look at the difference in the shape of bodies between the three years.
Aye.
Yet we're the same age. But I find that interesting that you struggle to pull in a punch. It's a bit like me being in a fight in the street and going.
Aye, like you're.
You know what I mean?
It's muscle memory though.
No, but seriously, I probably would end up doing. Like if I was going to jab somebody, I'd probably end up slapping it to get a wee noise at it. I'd be feared to throw a punch these days. I don't remember the last time I'd done it.
That's like.
I remember I did it New Year a couple of years ago. I punched somebody. I wasn't in a fight. I punched somebody and the guy just went, "What'd you do that for?" Right. And I remember, but the last time I got knocked out was in 2009. We're in Magaluf and my mate had just lost his dog, and I wanted to get in a certain pub, and he was going, "No, let's not go into that pub." And I was steaming. I got wound up and I ended up slagging the fact that his dog had died, which is the worst.
That's bad.
Can you give me a line of what that was?
I'd rather you slag
your
my mum
dog's dead.
dying.
Well, shut up, your dog's dead then.
And
I can see my other pal going, and he went right in the bar, and I said it one more time, and he just come up and went bang, and I went lying in the flare, man, like a turtle. My legs and all that, try to get back up, and I get straight back up to go to charge towards him to get him. I just went bang, and he got me again. Jesus Christ, man! I was like, ah. The next day I felt terrible, man, because you don't do that about somebody's dog. That's a drink for you.
That's so.
It makes you. But I've not drank now since August. I think I'm by with it. Mm-hmm. Do you drink?
I've kind of knocked on the heat a wee bit now.
It's not worth it, man.
I binge.
Do you?
See, because I go through long periods of time, it can't like. So I've got a fight, so that's been 12 weeks, and then you're always watching what you're eating, always watching what you're drinking. So see the minute that fight's over, you
go to town.
You go, I overeat, I gorge, and the same with alcohol. And that's how I've ended up in some states after fights.
Really?
Like I get fucking carty. I was in the back of a limousine spewing all air myself after I won a fight, like just covered and sick. And the limo driver pulls me out, and I'm lying in the middle of the street in Arizona. No knowing where I'm, like, no idea. And the UFC brass come and put me in a wheelchair. And you know what I mean? I'm like legs are getting caught underneath the wheelchair and all that kind of stuff. My coach had to take me back up to the room, strip me off because I'm covered in sick.
That is, I can relate to that, but I can relate to that. I remember the first night I wrestled for TN. It wasn't my first night, because it was actually 10 years ago this year I first went out to America to wrestle, but when I get signed by TNA Wrestling in 2015, and I got there a day before the tapings began, and for some reason they had got me a limousine, but this was a locker room that when they used to seeing limousines coming in, so that you had like the Hardys, Kurt Angle, or the Top Dogs, and I just thought that everybody got a limousine, right? I got picked up for the airport. There must have been some mistake. I don't know what had happened, but I got a limousine, and they drove right into the hotel. And all the wrestlers saw it and were like, how's she got a fucking limousine? But that night I got absolutely bluttered, and we're on the hotel room, and I don't know, I did things I was saying to folk, like the drink can do some.
That's same with me. Like
some mooty.
Aye, man, I was telling everybody that you've not got timing. I've got timing, you've not got timing. Just being cheeky. Like I was like, I've got I know how to sell. I'm probably the best seller here. Like just really
blowing ego.
Aye, man.
I just say things that are horrible for no reason.
Aye.
So I'll just sound like that you can't help. Like you're saying to your pal, your dog's dead.
You can relate to that. You've been doing that.
Oh, worse, aye.
At what point did you realise that wrestling was going to be a career? The first time I remember seeing you was a TV show.
Yes.
And it was like, what was it they called that?
Well, there was Insane Fight Club.
And it was Colt Cabana.
Colt Cabana.
That's the first time I'd ever seen it.
So I would say that was so what happened is in 2012, Vice asked to do a documentary with ICW, and I remember at the time, quite a lot of the boys in the locker room didn't want to be involved with it because they were still very much, no, keep the cameras out and all that, you know.
Why though? Why is that?
I mean, I was like, I don't give a fuck, they can film me.
Surely it's a good thing.
No, I know, but you get some wrestlers that go, no, you know, there should be no cameras backstage, and a bit old school, which I thought, I was like, come on, everybody, it's 2000, well, then it was 2012, I was like, everybody knows it's a work, everybody knows, what's the point? So a lot of the boys were quite hesitant to let the cameras fall, in case they looked daft, in case they were made a filly, but it was they weren't with me, so they followed me about Vice, and I let them follow me about everywhere. Vice then invited us down to London for the screening. I always remember we went down and it was Alan Rickman was there. There was because remember Vice is was quite a kind of
edgy.
Aye. But also quite a lot of the lovies quite liked it as well. Do you know, there was like, I had that a bit of respect to it. And I always remember the boy sat next to me, Jimmy Havoc was a wrestler, we were watching it, and he just turned to me and went, mate, you are going to blow up after this. He was like, you are going to go, this has got to be big. And I was like, you think so? So aye. And then when that came out, because if there's a wrestling documentary, usually it gets around the world, because wrestling, I would imagine some of UFC, there's fanatics, so it usually gets watched and shared everywhere. And then I just remember going on Twitter one day and all these American wrestlers, Colt Cabana, Sanjay Dutt, were all tweeting my name because they saw the documentary. But then a couple of years later, Insane Fight Club came out, which was on BBC One, and I think for then that was kind of like, because that was a mental week, because it was originally only going to be on BBC Scotland, but then the week before they decided to put it on network, so it was like EastEnders had just finished, and now on BBC, great, this man can blah blah blah, kind of that, and then it cuts to me in my room dancing to Like a Prayer, and it got like, I think it was 1.7 million folk watched it, and I remember like my Twitter was sitting at like 3,000 or 4,000. And then I woke up the next morning, it was like 15. I was like, you're joking, man.
That's brilliant.
Am I famous now?
Why do you think some things like that catch?
I think it's because it's real.
Aye. Authentic, eh?
Aye. I was just myself. I was just like that. I think that's what it was. I was just...
A lot of people...
A lot of the stuff, a lot of the kind of gems and stuff like that was like me and my ma getting my wrestling bag ready for a show and stuff like that. Like, I think a lot of people can, just with the way my mom was going on and following me about, and quite a lot of stuff on that documentary happened quite off the cuff. Like, I remember like the bit with Nicky Clark, I went down to Nicky Clark, the big famous hairdresser in London. What I had done was, for the documentary, at that time, because of the previous documentary, I started to get auditions and stuff like that, and I got a part on a pilot. Rav Florence and Ian Connell had come up with this idea for a sitcom called The Sonny, and I played a character called Haircut, and I had to get my hair dyed bleach blonde, but it didn't marry up with the documentary. The guy that was the director was like, he goes, this is going to fuck the continuity up. He goes, you just randomly got blonde hair for no reason in the middle of the shoot. And we were sitting in my motor at Morrison's, and I went, hold on a minute, I'll get it sorted. Hit record, put your camera on. I went, I'll phone Nicky Clark, him that does the hair straighteners. So I phoned 118, went, can I get a number for Nicky Clark, the hairdresser? No problem, putting you through. And I'm going, I can get in there. Went through to Nicky Clark, and I was like, how you doing, mate? And I can't remember what I said. It was something like, oh, man, my hair's brown. No, my hair's blonde, but I need it back brown, and it needs to be done ASAP, blah, blah, blah. And they went, well, come down tomorrow and we'll fix it. And I went to the documentary. I goes, can we go? And he was like, oh, let's do it. So we jumped in the train, went down, get the cameras on, done a bit with Nicky Clark, and it was I think it was just because it was real. Mm-hmm. That's what it was.
Do you think a lot of people are out there trying to go viral being fake?
Oh, aye, come on.
Because that's really all it is, eh?
Aye.
And I think the more people who are trying their hardest to go viral are failing, because every cunt sees through it.
Yes. It's like, what can I relate that to, where I go, it real, when there was something I was thinking about where I go, it's completely, but Big Brother, I know this is daft, right? But I'm watching Big Brother now, right? And you're watching it.
No.
But did you ever watch it back in the day?
Maybe like the first one.
Right, I was obsessed
Hope
with
you
it.
see a bit of tit or something, eh?
Oh, I remember that. I always remember I remember Jade Goody lying on the couch naked when I was about 14, 15-year-old and being totally amazed. I remember that. Like that sticks in my mind. So what I'm saying is, Big Brother, right, for years and years and years, it's always had these big, mad characters. Aye. And it was kind of off-putting watching it for some reason, but see now, there's more real folk, and see the folk that are acting themselves in front of the cameras, they're the ones that are still in the house. See the folk that are trying to play up in front of the cameras and act daft and act stupid, they're out because the public can see through it.
And they get them out.
You get them out? Because there's more social media, so we know what real is. We know how people act.
Aye.
Whereas when we first started watching Big Brother, these guys were like, fucking, this Nick guy.
Aye.
Remember him?
Remember that Nasty Nick?
Nasty Nick.
Nasty
I was going to call him naughty. Like.
No, but do you remember that?
The blind guy as well. There was the blind boy on it.
Mikey Hughes.
You're well invested in this,
when he gets scaled with a baseball. That's one of the funniest clips ever. When he gets scaled. Did you ever see that when he's in the pool? That's brilliant. But Nasty Nick, the first series, I remember being hooked to that and going, oh my God, this guy's got a pencil in there and he's writing down stuff and he's going to get caught and oh my God, they're going to confront him the night we can't miss it.
But we were like young teens when that came out.
Oh, aye.
We would have been young.
Aye, first or second year.
Aye.
Craig won it.
Yes, that's right. And he
ended up became a superstar.
That's right. I think he's a multi-millionaire now. He's in business and
brilliant.
Aye.
These are the stories that.
And do you know what I remember about him? That he had I don't know if it was his sister or a relation that was suffering for an illness at the time, and he
gave the money.
Money. You remember that? That's mad.
There was a gay guy for Edinburgh. I mind he got chucked out. He was like all the same age as us, and he fucking spat in somebody's face, and they were like, right.
I remember that one and all.
Aye. He's
out.
Aye, straight away, because they'd been fighting or something on it the series before, and he just
Edinburgh,
fucking.
Did they have the height?
Right, gay guy for Edinburgh's probably.
Sorry. This is a bad thing, I know, mate. Where's my bit? Something left. Where? Sorry, bud.
I saw you smoking that there.
It's so bad, man. It's really bad.
What is it, in it? Just
mate, you have no idea.
nicotine?
This is 4 of these a day, man. It's absolutely. I need to wrap this.
You not just smoke cigarettes?
Not no anymore.
How no?
I'd feel sick. No, she smelled the hit.
Too
Smell
strong.
the ones. Don't like the CDs. This is, and that, I believe I can't wait till they ban it, the old disposable ones, because I just love getting into the garage in the morning, get my caffeine, and just
Get
going.
my vape.
Well, it's like Willy Wonka. Do you know that way? Like, I'll try the lemon and lime.
What
and
flavour will I have to do?
Aye, cherry cola and.
Nothing makes me sadder than seeing a man smoking there.
Mate, do you know what? I kind of thought that. It's for years. I would always slag folk that use these rather than the big fucking Transformers one. But mate, 4 of these a day I'm going through.
That can't be good for the old
2,600 puffs a day.
And you do 4 of them? 10,000 puffs a day?
Times that by 7. The boys will tell you, I looked up in ChatGPT, it's equivalent to something like 56,000 cigarettes a week. I'm not joking.
You're a medical
Did I do that? I looked up in ChatGPT. That's apparently the equivalent.
What was your health like when you were at your peak of wrestling? Like your fitness regime and how healthy you were? Because a lot of people don't actually know. Like, you just go through a fair fucking... workout. At the time, I was always just wrestling. Mm-hmm. So I mean, there was a time where I was wrestling. Sometimes I'd wrestle on a Friday. I'd fly down on a Saturday, wrestle in London a Saturday afternoon, fly back up and do Saturday night in Glasgow. Then on Sunday I'd drive up to Inverness. So I've got to be honest. I mean, but apart from when I fought Drew for the heavyweight title with SECC, I kind of had a personal trainer then, and I went to town for a good couple of months and I got in really good nick, but I've never, and I think when in years to come I'm going to look back and go, I really should have paid attention, but I just don't think I've got it, mate.
Do you think that's impact on your body as well?
100%. It's got to, man. It's like I've major back pain. I've got something in my thigh that I just can't budge, where I wake up in the middle of the night and it's as if there's like an electric shock in my thigh, and it's as if somebody sat an iron on my thigh, and it happens maybe I would say about 2 or 3 times a week, where I just wake up in the middle of the night in complete agony, and I wonder if that's just got today with me.
Nerve damage.
Aye, or that. Like I've really just
getting fucking crashed onto your back all the time.
But then at the same time, you know, I would get wrestlers in America that would go, never drop weight, never get in shape because you kill your gimmick. You'll kill your gimmick. Don't get in shape. Keep the way you are. You're not going to be believable if you got a body. And I'm like, oh, well.
It's what?
Aye.
Wrestlers, listen up. Your sport is difficult. You get a lot of bumps, you get a lot of bruises, some wear and tear through wrist, knee, back. There's a whole host of things that come along with your sport. So why not prevent this and look at having something to help you stay on that mat and stay on that ring apron and be the best version that you can be. And Ross has got the details.
You can get any 2 braces currently for $59. You can mix and match or get 2 of the same if you need 2 knees. That's all. It's $59. Anaconda will take care of you. Put in leather 10 at the checkout for 10% off.
And as you're looking for some fresh kit as well, why not check out their rash guards and their shorts? They have got you covered. Anaconda is the only place to be getting your support braces. So check them out.
It's like, because I think what helped me with wrestling was my big old chubby cooting.
Relatable, isn't it? It's like,
aye. It's the character of the guy that probably should be the other side of the barrier, who's jumped the ring and managed to kind of
wangle his way in.
Aye.
It's a great gimmick.
But I think that maybe in years to come I'll regret that I never kind of put the work in, if I'm being honest. I got into CrossFit for a couple of weeks. I liked that until I cracked my ribs.
Do you think that's just health-wise, though, you're saying that?
I'm
like
just,
you'll regret because you'll start
lazy.
to...
I'm no lazy, right? But when it comes to gyms, man, I've never been... I just don't...
Nah.
I mean, there I started at one of AGD sports gyms in February. I think I went about 4 times and I'm still paying £25 a month.
Expensive license, isn't it?
I mean, it's just... And then I get paranoid about being spotted in there, so I'm wearing a hat and all that when I'm on the bike and all that, listening to Joe Rogan. And
the one I go to is full of wanks. Like, that's not a good.
I would like if somebody could train me, but I go to their house or something like that and do it at their back door and there's nobody else there. I'd like that.
Well, you're welcome.
Privacy.
Would you do that?
Welcome to come at mine.
See, you got a gym at the back door?
I do, aye.
Yeah.
And it's convenient. Because then I don't have an excuse. I can't go, well, it's 10 minutes to get to the gym.
Aye.
Yeah, you don't get that. You go out there and you
just get it done.
You get it done, and then you can come back in the house and feel good about yourself.
That woman at the CBT's gave me breathing exercises, and she just told me, she was like, why do you think people go a lot of walks? Because walking affects your breathing, and then when you're breathing relaxes you. So I have considered probably taking the dog out. Walks a lot more than what I should.
What kind of techniques is it? Is it
walking the dog?
The breathing diaphragm.
It's all. What I go by the 4-4-8 rule.
So box, hold, and
breathe in for 4, hold it for 4, and then go and make the noise for 8 seconds, and it does actually work. Greg, you try that. You should try it.
I time it with my watch. I've got a wee app on my watch.
So you do breathing exercises as well, then, aye?
When I go walking my dog,
I do.
It stops me fucking murdering my family.
Diaphragm stuff I do. Have you ever seen the stuff with Ricks and Gracie with his stomach?
Oh, his book Breathe.
No,
is it not called Breathe? Actually,
what do you do with that?
So do you ever remember the truffle shuffle? He would do this way. I can go that way.
Wow.
I don't know if I'll be able to do it myself.
Of course I do. Let's do it.
Why you that?
Do it.
In good shape now.
Holy shit, man. Look at that. Oh, boys. Look at that. That's a boy.
So what I'll do is
try that.
So what I'll do is
I thought you'd be hairier.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of, I'm no, look at that. He easily kind of.
A wee soul patch.
I know, man. I got a wee skull there.
So I fill up the diaphragm and I do a number of breaths, and then I'll hold. So I'll exhale everything out. And then I'll then work on my diaphragm, stretching it. Because it's like a muscle, it's like anything. Use it or lose it. And when you think about like recovery and resting heart rate and all this kind of stuff, which becomes hugely important when you're in fight camp, is like my resting heart rate's like 35 beats a minute.
Is that?
So if you think like, what's yours, Greg? Yours must be pretty low. 49, I think. So there you go. Like, you're very fit. You look after yourself. Whereas if I use breathing techniques and I can tap into my parasympathetic nervous system, then I can drop it even more and then become even fitter. If I can become even fitter, then I can push harder. And if I can push harder, then I can drop my heart rate even more. So it's this, like, I start chasing stuff and I get super obsessed.
Wait. Will you ever well, Joe Rogan never asked you to do his podcast because he likes all that shit talk, doesn't he? All that kind of... No shit talk, but do you know what I mean? Like that, that's the kind of part of it comes away with it. You'd be good with that.
He does enjoy a bit of the Bear Jew's jiu-jitsu action. It's cool getting to talk to these guys because when you think about, like, Joe Rogan's probably one of the most famous guys in the world.
Yes.
And he...
Most listened to. Biggest news outlet for sure.
100%. Oh, it's the biggest... That's one thing for sure. When that's what I like listening to him talk about with us, legacy media. Now you're getting all your information for Joe Rogan, you're getting all your information for Twitter because it's real.
It's true.
You're right.
We always knew though that BBC and that was just shite. We always knew they were lying.
But then now you can pick what you want to listen to.
Yes.
Whereas when we were kids, you had to tune into the news.
It's
if
that,
you tuned in, it was like, you would get this, and this. There's the sports, and then away you go.
Do you know what I compare it to?
Aye.
Do you remember Anchorman? If Ron Burgundy says it, it's the truth.
That's it.
That was what we were fucking... See, my dad sits there and watches the BBC. I'm like, why would you watch this shit? It's completely fucking made up. Or it's like whatever they decide to tell you.
To put out whatever angle they want to get out it.
Aye.
You're right. Joe Rogan, do you spend a lot of time with him before?
No.
Is he one of the boys?
He's kind of... I imagine back in the day he'd been one of the guys, but now he just kind of rocks up, does his thing, and then...
Fly in a private jet.
Aye.
These stuff.
He stays in Texas, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he'll fly in for so many numbered events. So next weekend's 209, am I right, Craig? 309. So 309's next weekend. So he'll more than likely fly in, and then he'll be straight away.
When are you going back to the UFC?
I'll leave tomorrow.
Do you got a fight?
I'm fighting
for the UFC?
Aye, 309.
You're young. Whereabouts?
New York City.
Wow.
Fighting in the big MSG as well.
Are you fighting at Madison Square Garden?
Aye.
You are kidding me on, have you? Are you really?
Aye. So we leave tomorrow.
You're fighting at the Garden?
Still no packed. Fighting
You never do that though.
No, I need to do a wee bit of that parking. I've got stuff. Well, I know what I'm going to take. And my nutritionist is like, Melon, bring a jacket. Because we were in Vegas.
Is it cold at that time of year?
No, it doesn't even need to be. It's just...
I was in Vegas and I was like... And he's like, you want my jacket? And I was like...
In a bar.
I went in January, it was quite...
Oh. That was inside because it's...
Oh, because of the air conditioning stuff?
No, because it's so lean now.
Just from so skinny.
It's going right on my head there. I get it.
So I'm like... I'm going to have to wrap up. I'm going to have to...
I mind that in Twin Peaks, just sitting there watching fucking TV, like shivering, eh?
Is that the way you get?
I remember the woman come up and just started talking.
So, Paul, are you going to be doing that shit where you're going to be lying in a jacket to get all the sweat out you? And is that very difficult?
It is. It's horrible.
Is it?
So I've still got...
There we quiz though.
9... Aye.
Are you gone?
I'll be there, aye.
Wow. 9 kg to lose. I started this fight camp at 106, so 106 kg. I'm down to 93 kg.
I was 108 kg.
So you were heavy.
When I was going for the Polis.
Aye.
I was 108 kg.
What do you think you're now?
Christ knows, man. I think I'm maybe about 17 stone something.
I don't deal in stone.
I know, but I can't, I know, pounds.
Yes, Craig will fire it up. What's that, 17 stone?
Because I always remember my BMI was at like 32.
107. Do you know the BMI I get? It tells me I'm overweight.
I know, it's a lot of shit, innit?
Overweight? Like,
aye.
Where?
I bet that's your height, innit?
Aye.
That's your height that does that.
Like,
I'm probably 107, like.
Are you?
Aye.
You see, I remember the heaviest I've ever remember seeing myself was 18 stone something. That was just before lockdown. And it's funny because you're talking about no packing your stuff. I remember that being this kind of sign where, because I was wrestling for 2012 all the way up to 2020 non-stop, no taking a weekend off, but it got to the point where I was travelling to shows with just my Tesco bag with my wrestling boots in it,
and I'll get
came
my
in
stuff
my
there.
leotard and all that, and folk were going, look at stay you, man, you've no interest in this, and you know, I was like, I'm fucking busy with this. It was like leotard.
Travelling takes a lot out of you, but
I loved that.
But see, when you first started it and you had that bug and you packed
best.
your bag and you were like, I need this, and what if I need this?
Yeah, I better buy a new pair of trainers and a new trackie for the airport and all this.
And then it gets to a point where you're like,
I can always remember the day going, oh, I've got to fly to Florida tomorrow, I'm fucked.
I know.
And see, now I think, God, I didn't really appreciate that at the time. And one thing where I can go, I remember was checking into Glasgow Airport and I'd just been going back and forth for TNA, and the woman went, that's you get access to the lounge now. I thought, what are you talking about? You're silver now.
Many miles.
So, mate, so see if my flight was at 11 in the morning, I was there for the
buffet opening.
The buffet opening at 6 a.m. I'm no joking. 5:58, 5:59, 6 o'clock. Right in there on the beers, getting bluter on the plane, crash out, wake up.
What was it like the first time you flew first class? Because that was an experience for me.
So I've never flew first class, but that was going to Vegas with my missus. But I remember getting upgraded to business class, and I was wrestling in Chicago that night, and I met Liam Gallagher at the airport. It was my birthday. It was the best day ever. Because I remember walking into the BA lounge, and it said like there was like 2 lounges, and there was the fancier lounge and there was the no so fancy lounge, and I met Liam Gallagher on the elevators, and I was like, how you doing, mate? You alright? I ain't bought. And he started walking to this part of the lounge, and I thought to myself, well, he's the kind of he'll be going to the fancier bit. But yet, no, I was going into the fancier one, and I was getting in with him, and I was sat right in there, that awkward kind of fucking bell, just leave this guy alone. Mate, what's you been up to? He's not interested in talking to you. But what I remember is going on to the flight, right, was I couldn't get out of it. That folk were just coming into the business class and sitting and going to sleep and getting ready for their bed, where I was like, what, you can get chocolate? What, a steak? And I remember that your hostesses buzzing off me because I was so buzzing that I was, you know what I mean? I stayed up. I didn't want the plane to land. It was that good. I really didn't.
First time I'd done it was during lockdown and the Emirates. So the Abu Dhabi, like the Sultan there, had paid for Emirates to fly all the fighters out.
So like, on the one plane?
On the one plane. This was like one of these like stories here in the WWE.
I like the plane ride for hell. Just so everything.
Just, all these fighters were just in first class, and all their coaches were in the coach. All the coaches were in the coach, and it was just, this was the first
Bedlam.
time I've ever experienced, and I was like, oh my god, this is like I've never. And the guy, the man that was the air stewardess, whatever you want to call him, had come in and said, sir, would you like your dinner? And I said, please, that'd be great. And he hits this wee button in the bed, goes,
yeah.
Right, but it sat you right up. Like so I was actually sitting over the top of it. Proper knife and fork. I was like,
yes. But then what can happen is you end up getting used to that, and then I've saw me like I've been upgraded, but then the next flight I'm stuck in the middle of 2 big massive guys, no tellies for 7 hours. They don't take debit cards, only credit cards. And I remember being on a flight for 8 hours and I had nothing, no battery in my phone because I thought I was going to get a bit weird. And I literally had to sit there like that for 8 hours, and it was horrific, man. But I did love all that. I loved all the travelling. That people always moaned about it, but I just love going from airport to airport. There was a time where I did miss I missed a flight, and I thought, I just felt like the stupidest person on the planet, if truth be told. I was coming for Philadelphia. I was wrestling in Cleveland, Ohio. I was to fly to Philadelphia, and it got in at 9 a.m. in the morning, and my flight to Glasgow wasn't till 9 at night. So I sat all day in the airport. I never drank. I just sat drinking coffee, looking at my phone, all the rest of it, and then I'd say about 8:30 after I'd been in the airport all day, it said delayed 20 minutes, right? Now, I'd been on this same flight a couple of weeks before then, and what it done was it just kept delaying it 20 minutes, and it was about 3 hours. So I went, oh, here we go again. And I'll never forget, I was looking up that Joe Weller on YouTube. He's a influencer or whatever. I remember looking with my headphones on and then getting distracted and looking up and not seeing anybody at the gate. I was like, what? Where's my flight? And I ran up and it said Glasgow departed. Oh. Mate, and I'm greeting to their hostess, like literally greeting. I was like, I need to go on this flight. We were shouting you a whole bunch, Mr. Stevely. We were shouting you a whole bunch. And I'm like, I need to go home. Because I still worked in the fire brigade at the time. Yeah. And I had like a day shift the next day. I was going to land at like 6 in the morning and go straight to Johnson, go to my work, right? And I'm going, can you get my flight to Holland? Can you get my flight to back in England then? No. So I'm like, I've never felt like the biggest, stupidest bastard coming out of that airport after being in it for 12 hours and still missing it. See how bad that felt, just seeing my case coming and going back at the airport and going, oh my God, because I had to wait for the flight 24 hours later. And I'm on the phone to fire brigade going, can I come in tomorrow? I'm stuck in Philadelphia. It's horrific, man. That's when I then needed to go, I need to stop this, because I was getting too stressed out with it, man, because I wasn't working any weekends. That was a big thing as well. I was getting a lot of folk to work for me, and the novelty started to wear off, because at first they were like that. I'll work for you. I have to work for Grado at the weekend. He's basically like, he's got a match. That's soon the novelty wore off.
I I got.
By the way, I worked in the control room in the fire brigade. I wasn't.
Want it out there?
What?
You want it out there? Putting out fires?
No. I was on the phone, taking in calls. What's in fire? What's your address? Fire service will attend.
You still do that? No.
I did.
Wake up at night like,
Oh, I tell you what I did during lockdown, right? I was blistered, and the chief officer put up a tweet saying, calling all retired firefighters personnel. And I went, well, I'm doing nothing. Wrestling's known. And this was right at the very start where it was like you're in the house staring at 4 walls. And I messaged the guy, says, you fancy a horn? You need a horn? And I woke up the next morning going, oh, why did I do that, man? I was embarrassing. But I got a phone call and says, can you come in tomorrow and start working? I was like, oh, actually, right, boy. So I went back, and in the back of my head, I'm going, I might get a good story out of this. But here's me, by the way, talking about how I don't like getting in the papers, right? I'm going, I could maybe get a story out, Hero Grado returns to the fire service, that way, right? And I was there for a couple of months, and the son did eventually ask me about it. You work in the fire brigade? I says, aye. And I'm like, so what's going on then? How are they taking to you? I goes, well, this is folk that I've known for years. I goes, they were just kind of happy to see me. Aye, but it was nobody coming up and asking you for selfies. I'm going, no, it's not like that. It's like, I worked there for a good, 6, 7, 8 years before I ever was on the telly. And they were like, what new folk? Didn't any new folk? I goes, no, nobody's asked. And then, of course, they put up an article, didn't they? Radio returns to fire service, and it was like, I couldn't believe it when I walked into the control room and no one recognised me. That's what they wrote.
You should not talk to these people.
Mate, I sat by. So, and then I went into the fire brigade the next day and they're going, check you fucking dafty. That's fucking idiot. Do you know what? I quit that day. Not that I quit, but I went, I can't be it really put it down. I was embarrassed. I was dead embarrassed, so I was.
Lockdown was the best thing. I had the best job ever. I worked doing security for a train station that was empty. So I just never ever went. So I just pretended to be there. And I was saying I was there.
Clocking in and all that.
So all I would do is...
we were doing a fight camp.
Aye. I would win, aye.
We were...
Did you still... Because UFC still went, didn't it?
UFC still
went. It was a bit like WWE done that, didn't it?
Over at Yaz Island.
Aye, and you were coming down, I remember it, and you're like, give me a second, I just need to deal with this.
Aye, you would have to...
then go back to just battling each other.
You would have to phone a number and put in a code that made out you were there. But
is that right?
all I would do was I would save up loads of rubbish, like cans of Monster and newspapers and stuff like that, and then I would go in on a Sunday night and just scatter them all about like I'd been there all week. So if anybody came in...
You've been there.
Aye, so that was all I would do. It was fucking brilliant. Money for nothing.
That's brilliant.
I could go back to it.
I wonder, Paul, if with the whole takeover with the WWE and UFC that you might be involved with something. Did you get involved with something? Were you at Clash of the Castle? Did they use you?
I was meant to be involved in something, but it never
transpired.
But I ended up getting paid for it because it was at that point where I was like, I can't be fucked going. I didn't want to go, and they're like, the UFC hit me up and said, listen, we're looking for you to be involved. And I was like, right, cool, that's fine. And then it got closer and closer, and I'm like, oh, I can't be fucked. I'm one of the guys, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
But I need to go anyway.
To this?
And then I was like, nah, I'm not going. Fuck it, I'm not going to go. Wasting my time. And then the UFC sent me a pay slip through. I went, you fucking bastards.
Forced you.
So then I had to go, and turns out I didn't have to do it, and I just sat in front.
I guess like backstage footage and all that went to. Oh, did you get the whole Paul Craig's front row? Did you get all that?
I didn't.
Right.
I don't think I did.
Did the camera pan into you? No,
it was the big guy.
Tom Stoltman.
Tom Stoltman.
Who's he ever pinned? Come on,
he's fucking
Tom. If you're listening,
he stole all the limelight. He stole all the limelight. He's a big guy.
Oh, aye, he's a lovely big guy as well. I'm always messaging him to be my tag partner on one of these bashes. I do like wrestling shows at the Pavilion Theatre, and I'm always just like, come out and just get wee shell suit Bob up and just, you know what I mean, and throw him at the ring or something like that. Because big guys like him, man, they only come. He's a freak of nature, isn't he? Really?
Aye, massive.
No interest in it.
Bodybuilding?
No.
Oh, WWE?
No, is he no interested in that?
I think they were back in the day. I think there was kind of talks about him. I remember speaking to him, I think, because there was a time when WWE, that's all they were interested in, was taking big guys on and training them up. Because quite a lot of the time, the WWE will go for people that have got no wrestling experience at all, so they don't need to beat bad habits out of folk. Because you'll get sometimes you hire wrestlers and they find it difficult because they've been trained a certain way, whereas they'd like to start with a blank canvas.
Interesting. They just stopped that. They just said it was easier just to pull wrestlers in.
I think so.
They've got a pre-made story as well. And a lot of people don't really buy into these guys. They don't buy into them anymore.
No, you're right. Are you talking about the likes of like when Velasquez and all that done it? Is that what you're talking about? That kind of idea?
I mean, I'd love to get involved if the UFC or WWE is like, hey, fancy coming in there a wee stint.
So did you never have a wrestling match? No, you just come in.
I had a wrestling
Oh, you
match.
did?
Was put out the tag team. I won the tag team titles off a KOE.
Oh, aye.
Also done the Royal Rumble.
Oh, the Square Go.
Square Go. So I loved it.
Aye. Did you watch wrestling growing up?
I did. Loved it. Who was your guy?
My guy growing up was The Rock, man. I just loved The Rock. I just loved everything about him. I just remember I didn't even really like that wrestling that much until I saw The Rock and I went, he's the guy, man. But no, I thought 25 years ago, I thought he was unbeatable in the mic, but he's very different now. Have you ever met The Rock?
Never.
No.
There's they've got a link with the UFC for the trainers. So every single time we fight, we get a pair of UFC Rock trainers.
Oh, do you? All right, you get a wee kind of goodie bag.
And they've got like a, what's his production company, $5 or something?
$7 productions or something.
And they guys, they bring,
$7 productions or
they
something.
bring in like 6-7 guys and they all do like, ask some questions, all that kind of stuff.
Have you ever, is there any wrestler where any fighter that you've met and you've went, oh, I can't believe I've met him. Like you grew up really, really admiring and were quite taken aback.
See, I was never ever into fighting.
Well, you know.
No.
I mind it clear as fuck. When we were at the PI first ever time, we came walking, you know, the outdoor bit that's got the wee, we'd go into the canteen for our lunch and we're walking through and George St. Pierre came out and I was like, yeah, fucker, there's George St. Pierre right there. Aye. And I mean, like, it's the only time I've ever been sort of like that starstruck by anybody, but I genuinely was like, yeah, fucker, and he's just like, hi guys, training today, just like, hi mate. Hi.
But also with things like that, I think you end up getting desensitized to that stuff and all. Because I was like, when I first started going, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm the same dressing room as Kurt Angle. And then I remember at one time, because I was going to that often, that I did a convention and it was like, I'm sitting there and I'm watching like the Boogeyman going by and Dale Brown and the Godfather, and I was like, I just never done it. And I'm going, God, I've been completely desensitized. I can't appreciate this anymore. It was bizarre.
It was when we were over last time, Greg. And Greg, I'm going to go and ask. And because you just get so used to seeing him in the gym, like, well, where else would he train? Of course he trains in the gym.
I've bumped into a couple of UFC fighters I took. Remember I was telling you, who was it, the boy that I hung about with for a couple of days?
It was Stefan Bonner.
Aye.
Oh, he's dead now.
I know, I couldn't believe that. He done a look with TNA and he was brilliant.
Yeah,
he didn't believe that I was a wrestler.
He was one of the original guys, like.
Wait, you? I was like, I'm a wrestler. He's like, all right.
He was one of like the first superstars, eh?
He was, aye.
Aye. Mm-hmm. There was a few wrestlers that done that to me. Like I remember do you ever remember a wrestler called Gene Snitsky? No. He was he was fucking massive. I remember he was just big, right, kind of roided, pure 6'5", fucking built like a brick shit house. And I wrestled in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania with him 4 nights in a row, and every night I would speak to him before I would go out and have my match. And I remember on the 4th night he was like, so what is it you do? I was like, I've been wrestling for the last fucking 4 nights. You're a wrestler, bro? I always used to get that as well, even when I turned up in the country and it said wrestler on my passport. They always go, hold on, a wrestler?
What? Why?
What, the cameraman? That's what they would say to me.
So there was a funny story where I was in the airport and I come off the plane. It must have been like, say it was Vegas.
Aye.
And I come off and I line up and I start queuing and this guy comes up with a gun, like a copper, one of the airport staff, and he goes, Pal Craig, and I says, aye. I was like, yeah, fan. And he goes, no, I'm border security, come with me. He was checking my visa and making sure like none of the guys like it was for tax reasons for the guys who were, because when I bring out a corner, if I'm paying them, then they need to pay tax,
right?
And they can be refused. So I thought this guy come up as a fan. I was like ready to sign something for him.
I got to be like, oh no.
But what made it worse is like, can you just sit there, Mr. Craig? So I sat down and then he went backstage and like behind it was like the counter, and I seen the two of them talking, having a good chat with himself. And I was like,
Grado's got a good one about that, I know, haven't you, Grado?
Was that the one?
Delivery driver.
Oh, aye, that's right. Delivery driver came to my door. Holding at me with a parcel and went, can I get a photo? And I went, I need ball. And I went to put my shoulder on him. And he went, no, the parcel, you fucking. I was like, oh no, man, I'm affronted.
So you went for wrestling and then now just became like a more of an entertainer. So you don't really do a lot of wrestling now?
I don't do as much. I wrestled. I tell you, it was a big thing for me where I went, do you know what? I feel as if I've kind of ticked half wrestling was when I appeared for AEW at Wembley Stadium last year, because that kind of came out the blue, just completely out the blue, where I got booked for that, and I always remember going, right, I've done that, so.
Why do you say ticked it off?
I don't know, man.
Why is that the way you...
Well, I'm getting older, and I'm getting older, and I feel as if my times kind of came and went with all wrestling. I don't see myself ever getting signed to any kind of American company or anything like that anytime soon. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd maybe like to get into the creative side of it, because I'm more dangerous, because right now I'm kind of writing like
your shows,
sketches and stuff like that. Like, it's like the Alan McCoy thing. See, the thing I done earlier this year, like I sat down and went, right, what could Alan McCoy hear and react and stuff like that? And I remember sending it in for the sketch show that we're going to do. And because of that, I'm thinking, I wonder if I could do that for a wrestling company. Why not? Because I love wrestling so much, and I've got experience of doing a wee bit of writing. Granted, it's not very big, but it's experience nonetheless. So I wonder if maybe later down the line I could do something like that. But I have to say that I do love doing acting stuff. That I just love that. It's been brilliant. To get, especially with Two Doors Down, because I watched that with my mom before she passed away. It was me and hers wee thing to kind of get together and watch that, and it was just full of complete legends: Elaine C. Smith, Johnny Watson, Alec Norton, Dun McKeegan. Do
you get to do any writing for these shows?
No. Scott Squad, you were able to send some ideas for sketches, and I think maybe 3 or 4 of mine ended up making it to the show. Stuff with the Singing Kettle, I remember doing I wrote that, and Michelle McManus, and a couple of wee bits and bobs. But I've got to say that I do like doing my acting. I was putting together a wee reel the other night, all the kind of stuff that I've done, which sometimes I need to kind of stop and go, I can't believe I've done that. You know what I mean? I done Crime for Irvin Welsh last year. It was only a wee scene I done, I think, for Disney Plus called The Wedding Season, where I kind of played a policeman again. And then in 2021 I done ITV, I done Endeavour. See the Inspector Morse thing that's in ITV? You probably have no saw that, have you? No, Endeavour.
I know what
aye.
Like.
So just I like doing stuff like that. I like
is it?
And I like the pantomime, and all the pantomime is good because there's so many similarities to the pantomime and the wrestling. Like I look at the psychology behind that. It's quite the same. You know, the stuff that I learned in panto.
You've got to hit the
timing and stuff like that, and listening to the crowd and all the rest of it. There's a lot of time where I can take stuff for the wrestling and put it in the panto and vice versa.
I'd taken my kids to the panto last year to see. Absolutely brilliant. I was high as fuck.
Oh, you really?
So was I. It was fucking tremendous. Like,
was it really?
Like, if there's anybody out there hasn't been to
that must have been like a complete mind, as if you were in some sort of fucking fever dream, seeing me dressed as a fucking pirate and all that.
So it was when I was sitting there, and it was the things that only funny I find funny. It's people's wee like reactions, or it's maybe somebody's laughter in the crowd, and that's what was getting me. And I was like, but.
Or the mistakes and stuff like that.
I absolutely love it. I love spending time with the kids.
That's what it's all about. But because see, when we see that feeds off. See, when you, at Christmas time, there's nothing better. That's why, see, like Christmas Eve shows, and all the Waynes are excited because Santa's coming, and at the end of the show on Christmas Eve, we all sing Jingle Bells and stand at the front of the stage and that. And every time I greet, man, because I go, this is love.
Aye, but that's a fair bit of work for you.
That's what you do earn your coin doing that. It's like 82 shows. I mean, sometimes you can be still singing about Santa Claus is coming to town on the 12th of January. You know what I mean? And the Waynes are looking at you as if you're daft. But it's work effort. I love going and keep going. I just love, because everybody would go, you're going to burn, what is it they say, burn your corner with Bay Fens and all that. I love all that. See days off, that's when my mind starts playing tricks on me. 1 day off's good, 2 days off, you go, oh, it's all right. 3 days off, I'm climbing the walls, what am I doing in the house, I'm wasting my time and stuff like that. So I love panto time where I do radio in the morning, jump in the motor, maybe get a wee hour's kip, go on the stage, come off stage, go and get something to eat, go back on stage, get home at the back of 11, back up for 4:30 for the day. I love that. There's something about it where I buzz off it, I thrive off it.
You always been like that?
I think I have. I think I have. I just like feeling that I'm doing something and part of it. And
does it bother you if you're not busy?
Aye, definitely. Definitely, absolutely. I've noticed that in the last couple of years because I'm not wrestling as much. Like, because I'd be away. But I think a lot today as well, becoming a dad and all that as well. You kind of go, fuck, you spend more time with the Waynes, which I do love doing, but it's like a sign that you're getting older, and maybe stuff that you've done, you're maybe not got the opportunities that you did a couple of years prior.
Apart from that, what do you mean, like opportunities prior? So you feel like, so you've said a couple of things now.
Yeah,
so you've missed something, eh?
Day, man.
And that's what
Do you know what it is? It's because we know him was in the days at NXT and stuff like that. A day missed the wrestling. A day missed all. A day, see wrestling.
It's pure ripping out of you. Like,
I love it.
You feel like you've missed out on something, and you've
all that as well.
To catch it.
Yes. I do. Maybe there is a feeling of that, because I got to the point in 2020 when lockdown came and it couldn't come quick enough, and I was like, I need to stop this, man. I can't be asked for this anymore. Like, although I'm moaning about working all the time, but I just kind of I got sick of it. But now I feel as if I want to do something. Wrestling makes me happy, man. See, if I'm ever sad, I'll stick on a Hulk Hogan match. I'll stick on a wrestling podcast. I love having that as a passion. I love that more than anything in the world. I could be sitting in the studio doing 2 doors down, or I could be on stage at Panto. Nothing beats being in a ring in front of a live crowd. I love it. The crowd chant your name.
Why are you getting up on it then?
Because there's other irons in your fire, and if you have to dedicate all your time to wrestling, and it takes away from, as you're saying, Panto.
100%.
2 doors
that
down.
Could be it.
You're writing. There's a whole host of
you have got a lot going on.
I do, but 2 doors down is not coming back. 2 doors down. That was sad what happened with that, because the writer passed away last year, which was it was very, very sad, because I was close to the guy, and he was like my biggest fan, and he was the guy at my audition for 2 doors down, and I remember he followed me right after my audition. I thought, I've got this guy here, by the way. This guy likes cutting my jib, and we'd always go on, and he was for Ayrshire as well, and you always find that when somebody's got that kind of same kind of banter as you, because they're for the same area, so we're quite close, and 2 doors down, I thought would just carry on and on and on and on and that. We're meant to be doing a stage show this year at the Hydro, where we're going to do like 12 nights at the Hydro, and then that was all kind of taken away. But also a pal was taken away as well, so I was a wee bit kind of cut up about that. To be honest with you, I'm still quite sad about that. If I'm being brutally honest, it still kind of affects me, because I was that close to him, and I did believe that it was great. Did you ever watch the show?
Before you were in it.
Aye. Then I come on it, and then you.
No, it wasn't like that. It was good.
Man.
It was. I stopped watching actual terrestrial TV.
Did you really?
Aye,
You'll not have seen Scottish Great Escapes then either, have you? It's funny you left that one out, Grado. How come you didn't mention that?
Which one was Scotland's Greatest Escapes?
No, nothing, but you didn't mention it.
Are they Scotland's Greatest Escapes or not?
I've seen them on social media.
Aye.
So, like, see, because, like, having a TV in your living room, you don't get an actual opportunity to sit and watch it. We normally watch our phones, or I don't have a lot of time in the house, and if I do, I'm spending it with the kids, and she watches The Simpsons. So,
Paul, I don't know about you. Hold on, who watches The Simpsons?
My daughter.
By the way, so does my daughter. What age is your daughter again?
The youngest is 10, loves it.
Wow.
And just repeat, and just it goes for season 1 all the way, and in fact she doesn't like season 1.
Does she
the
know?
Seasons I like,
Aye.
she doesn't like I am a massive Simpsons.
My wee lassie is free at the weekend, and she goes, Simpsons, put The Simpsons on. She loves it.
And it's easy just to put on.
Aye, and you can.
Wait till you start
next
seeing
level
it's sexual references. What you
Oh, really?
You never saw them when you were a
she's
kid.
not.
Well, you never seen it, but now when you're sitting there with your daughter and you're like,
But he was horse and Marge non-stop.
Aye.
And I never knew, mate. I didn't know. I was just sitting there, this is funny. Yellow people in the telly.
It was horse and Marge.
but so it was like, so that's what's always on our TV.
Aye.
And we'll watch a film every once in a while, but actually watching normal TV, like there's stuff happens. Like people are like, did you watch the Great British Bake Off? And I'm like,
Aye.
fuck, I missed that.
Fuck, I missed that. I sometimes get depressed about how often I scroll on my phone. That's a disease.
Aye.
Isn't it?
It's banned in my house, like.
Is it really?
Can't do it.
Let me ask you about that. Tell me more about that.
Just no doing it.
So wait, you go in the house?
I've got a TV, but
Wooden
I'll never.
toys.
Aye, they'll play with
Wooden
it.
toys.
You'll go out on your
balls.
fucking bike and
So
that's
you got how many wins you got?
2.
Have you
Boy
really?
and a girl. My
But-
son is 13 and my daughter is 8.
Wow.
My daughter can't scroll. My son can game, but it has to be with his friends. It's got to be online gaming. It's got to be, you're all playing together. You're not sitting there scrolling like some sort of fucking cabbage, eh?
Aye.
I think it just turns you into an idiot. So like yesterday, this is the best example of it. Before school, he's sitting scrolling on his phone. I said, what are you doing? I just came in for work at like 7 o'clock in the morning. I said, what the fuck are you doing? I said, get ready for school. So he goes, gets ready. You can see he's half asleep, he's groggy as fuck. Cunt left for school with my car keys, with my house key attached to it. So I didn't realise till he was at school. And I was like, Thank fuck I didn't have anywhere to be today because you've got my keys. Like, just
And do you think that's been brought on for just
looking at that, it turns into an absolute tatty. Eh?
Man, you're so right.
My daughter, she doesn't. I'll go like, you can watch somebody on YouTube. You can't sit and do that. It's not allowed.
Do you know what? I just in my last couple of days after, I just discovered the focus button on your iPhone where you get no calls, you get no alerts, you get no nothing. And I'm telling you, see for the 4 or 5 days, wow, what a difference I feel mentally.
I've turned on it, so I heard you doing it, and I'd noticed this a while ago because you would text you sometimes, it'd take you forever to reply, and I'm like, this cat's not got notifications on his phone.
Aye, did you do that?
Everyone's turning them off.
How bad are you with your notifications? Where's my phone?
I literally have no notifications on.
Right, so
Instagram, social media, I don't get any. See, if you comment in a post, don't get it.
Mate.
Text messages, phone numbers, it doesn't matter.
It's just, I've got it set up on my watch, so if my son phoned or text now, I'd get it.
So you get your Waynes.
My missus would get me.
Even my watch.
Paul and Greg could get me, nobody else.
I'm 407 unread WhatsApps and 504 iMessages.
Aye, I just get them away.
So what I've been thinking about in the last couple of days is I'm thinking about just getting a new number.
Aye.
And just starting again.
They're red
because
to worry
also
you as well. That's why they make them red.
It makes a cunt out of you, know.
I
there you go, aye.
Like,
because it makes you, because I always think as well, you get folk that go, he's an arsehole because he doesn't reply, but I genuinely, see if I see the phone ring and I go, oh no, you phone him. Do you get like that?
I'll phone you at my convenience, like.
Oh, aye, of course.
When I'm driving,
I'll get pissed off if they don't answer. Yeah, when they phone me, I go,
I'll phone you at my own convenience.
So I've got one of my friends, Doug the Thug, had messaged me. He messaged me because he's taking his son to jiu-jitsu, and he goes, who's taking a class tonight? Like, so I'm not in the kids' class. I don't take a kids' class. Why the fuck are you messaging me? Who's taking a class? And then he
didn't want to go, didn't he go?
He then sent me a couple more messages, then phoned me, and I ignored it, and I was like, I'm going to fucking batter him. So then I phoned him back and I said, what's up? And he's like, oh, you're taking a kid class tonight? And I was like, what does it matter who's taking a kids class? Like, you're about 2 minutes away from getting fucking blocked. And he's like, how, what's up with you? And I was like, mate, I'm fucking training for the biggest fight in my life. I'm reduced calories, my body's sore, and you're asking who's taking the kids class. So, like, I'll not even answer phone calls or that.
So this is...
If I'm phoning you, it's an emergency.
Right.
Like,
so something's rang.
It's the same. Like, if my phone went and it was Paul, I'd be like, oh fuck.
What's he phoning for?
Aye.
Is that like that?
Because I talk to anyone on the phone.
Is that right?
Aye, I do what?
How you want to know what bothers me? Do you see these cunts that walk about on speakerphone?
Oh mate, fuck off.
What the fuck? When did we go into the world where you can just have conversations openly? Like, you used to hold the phone up to your people, just like, I'm just going down to the Sainsbury's, you know what I'm saying?
And then I've got a coffee in there on, and I hate that. That does my box and see folk walking down the street with a coffee. That does my nuttin.
At my work,
check you. Who do you think you are?
You'll get people paying at the cash desk, and they're on the phone, talking on the phone, and I just go, stop the now. I'm like, we can just wait till you finish your call, and then the girls will fucking, you can pay in.
Oh, I shouldn't myself if you've done that to me.
All right, sorry. I hate cunts staying in the shops never, and they're on the phone trying to pay for their shopping. Like, do you want to put that down your cunt? Or go to the fucking self-scan. Bother some cunt out. Just shite manners.
I'm bad for sending voice notes on WhatsApp. That's my I quite a lot of that, don't I? But then somebody sends me a WhatsApp voice note, I've got to listen to it at 2 times speed. I'm like, get a survey, man. Hurry up.
Well, like, see like the note, if it's like, I'm doing all right, I'll catch you up now. Perfect. See if you're telling me a story, I'm like, I'm not
interested. I remember somebody sent me a 7-minute WhatsApp. 7 minute.
Just delete that.
And that was in 2021. I've still not replied to it. How dare you? How dare you?
It's because they didn't value your time, though. That's I honestly think. I know it sounds rude. I know it's like we talk about all the time. Cunts taking ages in the queue. Like you go and get a coffee and can I get in? What actually is? Fuck off! Get out of the way. Let me go next, you fucking idiot.
When I drive to the radio every morning, I've got a wee competition with a guy to get to the coffee machine first, and it consumes me. Because if he gets in front of me, I'm going to be 3 or 4 minutes late. And we've got that wee kind of competition going on with each other and it doesn't matter if I go earlier, he's somehow earlier as well. And if I'm late, he's a wee bit late as well. We always barge into each other to try and get to the coffee machine first. And that pisses me off.
Does he know it's a competition?
He does now. Oh, he's well up for it. He's well up for it. But I'll give him his due. What he started today now is he'll maybe make me a coffee for me coming. In fact, that's quite nice. I know.
That's not you've not got a competition.
He's excited.
Delete this bit. Delete this bit.
You've got a friend. That's all you've got.
He knows he's lost.
Is that Barry Ferguson or not?
No, it's not funny, but
The phone's a fucker. Like, the phone will just steal your life. You see, I see it all the time. My son's got pals, and I'm like, buddy, stop talking to him. He's a fucking cabbage.
do you?
Like,
Do you think he's a bad influence on him? And do you think that's because
I
he's
thought he was
obsessed
taking
with...
edibles. Because
Really?
he was just that, like, fucking monged on the couch all the time. I'm like, this guy's just, what's going on with this kid? And then you take them away for it, couple of good nights of eating better and sleeping better, and they're back to normal. The phone fucks them up.
Are you very strict on what you get your Wednesday to eat?
Aye.
No,
very strict. You can't just eat shite.
You don't get your own Happy Meals or anything like that?
If they want a McDonald's, I'll get one, but you can't drink like sugar juice or that.
All right, no, I don't give them juice. I don't give them cans of juice. No, it's my missus that kind of has instilled that in them. I don't give them that, but
I nailed him up not that long ago drinking cans of Monster. So on his card, he can just tap his card, and he's got this can of fucking white Monster, which is sugar free, to be fair. I says, how you got that? And he was like, I bought it. And I'm like, I can see you bought it for the wee shop along the road for me. I went, how did he sell you this? Because he's only 13, eh?
But his age is 16?
16.
Is it really?
I says, how you got that? He went, I just showed him a picture of me and you, and I said it was for you.
Oh, what?
And I was like, to be fair,
Fair play.
quite a good one.
That is a good one.
But the boy still, if he goes in and goes, geez the vapes.
Geez a bottle of that buck as well, please.
Is he just going to go, it's for my dad? No bother. So
Interesting, isn't it? So I think he's loves being dads, and obviously
aye,
love it.
but you've got to be tough on them.
Aye.
Like,
you don't want them to be assholes.
You can't just always be their pal. You've got to be fucking...
I'm quite bad for... I mean, my real I say I've got a 9-year-old stepdaughter, and I've got she's got to be free and silly, but I've got a habit of just letting the 3-year-old do whatever she wants.
My
I mean, even
daughter's
in the
the
night,
same. Life's tougher for my son than my daughter.
My missus, my missus is like, she's just got you wrapped, man. But I can't help it, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just...
I think you're meant to help it. It's my daughter gets an easy run compared to my son. My son's got a tough life.
You think so?
Oh, he's got to come home, do some fucking hoovering, tidy up in the house.
Is that right?
Aye, my daughter's just sitting there on the couch watching fucking YouTube.
My youngest's the same. The oldest, I've got an 18-year-old.
Have you?
Aye.
So how do you've got an 18 and a 10-year-old? That's way too face 6.
Aye. I was on the bones back in the day.
You were late, Grado.
I think I was, man.
So
I doubled up.
So the youngest gets away with murder, and I'm at this point where, I dropped her off at school on Monday, and pulled into the lay-by, and I said, right, get out, and she's like, you know, coming, and I'm trying to toughen her up, because what she wants me to do is a primary 10-year-old, she wants me to walk her to the gate, which is literally like for here to the G4 claim sign there.
Aye.
Other podcast studios are available, but G4's where it's at.
Damn tune.
Aye. So that's the distance it is, and she wants me to go out there and stand and wave. Fuck.
And
I'm like, no.
See, it's the opposite. Esme with me will say, don't go out the car. Wait, that's embarrassing. Don't come out and wave or anything like that. She doesn't want anything to do with it. You know, she wants me to stay in the corner and stuff like that, but...
See, my oldest, she grew up at the sort of peaky. What I was is as a fighter, like, she's still there. So she's doing sport at university, and all the young guys are obviously...
Oh, they will be delighted. They will be all delighted.
Your dad a bear Jew? And she's getting to, like... And even when she was at school, people were like, oh, your dad's a bear Jew, which is kind of cool. And my youngest sort of coming into that world where... people are like, oh, your dad's this, your dad's... So but it's a nice feeling. And then the highlight of my day has to be, do you know what, I'm coming here when I do the school run. Do you know what it is? Getting advice off other dads on fighting.
Oh, that is brilliant. That is brilliant. You don't really do that to you.
Aye, there's dads.
You're joking,
There's
man.
dads that'll tell me how to fight.
I love that.
See, so they've never fought a day in their life, but they're like, what's your last fight? Your stand-up shit.
Seriously?
And I'm like, aye.
You must stop yourself from going.
Aye, like there's times where, like, see if somebody had to come up to me, like, right now in the state I'm in, I fucking go to town on them. But see, like, during out of camp and people are like, what's your fight? You lost. Like, I'm coming off of 2 losses, 1 knockout, 1 submission, and it's shit. It's horrible losing. But they only see me losing. They don't see the emotional trauma that comes with getting knocked out in an arena, getting your eye bust open, and they're like, what you should have done is, what you should do is
what I should have done is been like you fucking loser, not done anything.
Sit back in your motor.
That's how I feel. Like, imagine being one of the people who's never known how it feels to win or lose. You're a fucking loser, man.
I suppose I can relate to that. I'll maybe go into the supermarket and somebody will say that maybe they don't go, oh, I loved that what you were in last night. That was brilliant. That was good. That was dead funny. I watched that again. And then I can maybe get to check it and somebody will go, what was that shit you were on last night? That was a fucking lot of rubbish, that.
It's
I'll go, I just don't enjoy it, you know. You don't enjoy it.
But it's hurtful, isn't it?
I remember.
Fucking put work into that.
I remember when I done River City, and there was a woman in the boozer. She says to me, "You in River City?" I went, "Aye." Well, I delighted it because this was one of the first times I get recognised. Aye. She was like, "Acting, that's fucking shite, isn't it?" And I went, "Oh, what do you think?" She went, "And you're the fucking worst."
And you've got to kind of laugh it off because it's horrible.
But it's most cunts hate their job, eh? Like, I'd hate working in Asda as well.
Oh, do you know
what's
a good one? Do you know what's a good one, Paul? When somebody asks you for a photo and their pal goes, I mean, I don't know who you are.
Oh.
And I go, well, I don't know who you fucking are either.
It's normally... I normally get girls that do that to me.
It's quite...
I don't know who you are.
Aye, that's a big one for them. I don't care who you are, but I'll take a photo of you anyway.
No, then. Like, get to fuck.
Aye.
Do you get the wee warmers as well that are like, gives a picture?
Aye.
Like,
and they sit it down like that, so then my face is like a big fucking... I'll put that up, you fucking hide my chin.
See, like, I don't make people beg for a picture, but see, I went into the pub one day and I literally just walked in and this guy was like, oh, Bertu, give a fucking picture. I was like, no.
Aye.
And all his pals like, oh, and he's like,
I can't do that.
He's like, oh, sorry. And I was
I'm
like,
a pussy that way.
I was like, fucking ask, like, just ask normally. I would give you a picture if you said, Paul, can I get a picture? But you wanted to be the big man and knew you're having to come up here and fucking beg me for a picture.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm pathetic like that. I just...
Would see if somebody made you beg for a picture, would you do it?
What do you mean beg? As in, how do you mean?
Because I'm going to out somebody here for...
What?
You can't get out of this.
It was bad, mate.
You can't get out of this.
It's not about getting over it.
No. I'm talking about...
Khalil.
No.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Khalil Roundtree.
No. I'm talking about you and...
You talking about Paddy?
Paddy the Baddy.
Aye, but that's his thing apparently.
What did you do?
I said, can I get a photo? And he went to say please. And I went, please.
No, you feel like a bitch.
I felt like an idiot. Yeah, I did actually feel like an idiot.
I feel like fucking chinning him.
But apparently he does do that. That's his thing. Like he makes people say, like he'll say, say that please.
Oh, well, if that's his thing, then at least you could say you've done his thing.
To make a grown man say, please, can I have a picture?
Aye.
That's fucking out your order.
Cheers, Paul. You just made me feel great.
No. You made me feel great when you were in Vegas and you were getting pictures with all the guys that beat me.
That's funny. I remember going with, should have taken this one with my mate Fletch when we went to the Football Awards and one of the Rangers players came to sit down and Fletch was like, I can't believe it. My mate's a big Rangers fan. He's like, I can't believe he's here. I goes, Fletch, he'll be here all night. I goes, just wait till he gets in. Of course, this is as he's walking to the table. So Fletcher's going, I'm going, don't. Of course, he goes like that. Flash, right as he's sitting down to sit at the table with us all night. I'm like, come on.
It's the pictures with the fighter one I always think is, like, I understand why people want to do it. Because these are people who are like out there, putting it out there, like putting themselves out there for you.
Yes.
But at the same time, like, in the gym and stuff like that, I would always kind of be like, he's training the new.
Aye.
This is no, like, he's at work the new. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, that I'm having a go at you, Greg, for doing it, mate.
But
listen,
it's different.
If you're a fan,
for Greg, if Greg's a punter, you know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
Aye.
And the guys are always happy to do it too. It's not like anybody's going to turn around and say,
there a
no.
wrestler you've asked for a picture with? Like, you take a picture with this?
I've kind of got away with it over the years because it is a kind of thing where they go, you don't ask one of the boys for a photo, but I've always been like, fuck. I mean, I remember being backstage with Vader and I'm like, nah, get your mask, Vader. Get your, I'll stick it on for a photo. Like, no problem, kid. Oh, I've never, with that, I've always went, no, I don't care. I'm doing it. I'm
but
getting a photo with them.
These guys care.
No, they don't.
I think they're happy. It's their job. It's
no, 100%. I've managed to get some great footage over the years. I remember being at WrestleCon in, was it New Orleans, and somebody went, oh, Steve Austin's next door. I was like, fucking hold on, man, let's go. All right, Steve, I'm a wrestler too.
I'll be doing it next week with Donald Trump. Like, I'll be doing it next week with Donald Trump.
Will he be there?
I would say so.
He said that he's going to be it.
So he did say that at his thing with.
See, I was getting the fence. If you try and jump the fence,
You're dead.
And grab a picture of somebody shooting you.
100%.
Like you've just won your fight, you're like,
So
Trump.
I was thinking about Donald Trump on the way in because I was like, oh no, they're going to ask me about Donald Trump about you because of what happened, right?
What happened?
And it's just because this is the morning of him being re-elected.
Making America
And
great
the
again.
only thing that I'm going to say about this whole thing is the people in America were pissed off with celebrities telling you who to vote for. So Ricky Gervais says, you know nothing about the real world. Americans don't want to listen to Cardi B, Leonardo DiCaprio, Harrison Ford, J-Lo telling you who to vote for. Right? And that's why I think that's happened where they've went, do you know what? The hell with us, we're voting for Trump.
J-Lo's the best one, because she didn't tell you to stay away from P. Diddy.
Well, I was going to say, I've just mentioned the list. Have I just mentioned the list?
That's Cardi B as well. You're not going to listen to her, mate. Fucking,
I don't.
nah. You wouldn't want your daughter listening to Cardi B.
Is she a rapper?
I think so. Just a
aye.
slag who sings.
I think next week, could you imagine if you did get a photo with Trump? I mean, he is the most famous person on the planet now.
Famous person on the planet.
He's going to be a
47th president. That's pretty cool.
well,
Andy was in a movie with Macaulay Culkin.
you're right, and he's muckled up with Hulk Hogan now, who is one of my absolute heroes. That was a good one.
Aye,
I remember.
endorsed him. Ripped
Aye,
open
that's
the
right.
t-shirt.
So I remember Jeff Jarrett. I was hanging out. I remember the wrestler Jeff Jarrett. We hung about together one WrestleMania weekend, and he's like, we went for sushi together, and we'll try to find this sushi place. And I was like, this Hulk Hogan's beat shop, Jeff. You've got to take me to go and see Hulk. He's going, you want to go and see the big man? Fucking right out there. So we drove up to his shop, and it was WrestleMania weekend. So I think he was charging like $200 to get a picture with him. Just stuns at the one spot all day. $200. Because it's a revolving door.
Mm-hmm.
Are people just getting? I says, can we do it? Let's go and do it. And I just come out the core. Folk were recognising Jeff. All the rest of folk recognised me. TNA went in. Jimmy Hart was saying, hey, you here to see the big man? The big man's just taking a shit. Oh, here he meet Hulk. And then he came out, Hulk Hogan. He came up right up to me, and Jeff goes, this is Grado. He can do all your steeds like the kind of British version of you. And I just took my top off in front of him. I just took my top off and started going. Right, they had it on Facebook Live. It was brilliant. See within half an hour, the Sun went with an article. Bulk Hogan, chubby grappler Grado meets his hero.
That's brilliant.
Chubby grappler.
That's good part.
It was. I didn't care.
There's somebody that's just writing the puns and you're like,
aye man, fair play. Bulk Hogan, love it. I love it.
So what was your generation of wrestling? Was it the
Attitude Era, mate, like Triple H and
then you had to go back and watch the Hulk Hogan run?
Kinda, mate, aye,
Because
kinda.
I remember I was just a little bit too young to appreciate what Hulk Hogan was.
Yes, I'm the same way. I think our age was kind of a wee bit kind of Ultimate Warrior and all that was just a wee bit before us, wasn't it? And so I have went back and kind of like studied the tapes. But my era was definitely kind of 1998, 1999, 2000 and stuff like that. What I did end up getting into was like the American independent scene, right? That was like kind of underground wrestling. So I was like 14, 15 year old, and I would get sent tapes. I feel like people in America are like wrestling in like community centres in Philadelphia and I was more obsessed with that than what I was with the stuff that was on Sky Sports. I was more into that. I was more kind of the kind of underground side of stuff. And I mean, I was just obsessed with it. And I'm still going to tapes and now, man. The tapes and I used to tape trade. So what you would do is you would get sent a tape and you would send a tape of something that you've got. So you never actually, all you need to do was pay for postage. So you would end up sending 10 tapes or something for somebody to send you another 10 tapes. So yeah, I ended up having a big fucking.
It's a decent system though.
Aye, isn't it? It was.
Good.
But it was always, I always felt a wee bit like a creep going to the post office with these videotapes, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You send 17 tapes. I would always go, what's on these tapes? Aye. I think Hulk Hogan, man, I just think that now it's kind of sad when you see somebody and go, oh, you know, people get old. Then he's getting old now, you know.
Aye.
He looks an older man. I mean, he still looks shit hot. He still looks better than me, better than I'll ever look. But it's kind of sad sometimes when you see people that you grew up watching and being idolising and they're older. Am I talking shite?
No,
No, I
agree.
agree.
What about that? In that same breath is The Rock. Because I don't think The Rock looks great. No.
I think your kid's on his nice, mate. I think he's a horrible bastard.
I love you. That's so funny, man.
I bet he is, though.
That is so funny, man.
Jinky's nice. Jinky's like that all the time.
That's so funny because you know he's been caught out with all this stuff. Like, you know, this is my first time at Wendy's and all this and all the drive-through stuff. I can, do you know what? I've only known you for an hour or whatever it is, right? But I knew you're sitting there going, you think The Rock's a piece of...
Nah, no, I think he's a piece of shit.
But you think he's at it.
He's an actor.
He's at it.
Aye,
You think he's at it?
He bought the black guy a house.
Aye.
But it took 3 black people's houses after him. Is it like that? Right, I'll get you a house, but you three are losing it. I'm taking this land.
I just think people like that I don't believe anybody's that good. I think everybody deep down's probably a bad cunt.
But then he's in a different realm for us, Ross.
He's different.
Now he is. Now he is.
In my opinion, I think he looked better when he was in his WWE days.
Yes.
As opposed to now, he looks swollen, he looks sore. He's trying to be this. He's trying to be Arnold Schwarzenegger for the next generation, and he's just no big Arnie for me.
His partner was brilliant back in the day also, and I think now it's like it was always kind of off the cuff and kind of he would say stuff you'd go, oh, that's quite cool, but now it feels very contrived and you know what I mean, a bit kind of.
I don't mind people who are like, no, that nice. That's fine, so long as you just are always that person.
Aye,
I'm alright.
Aye, if you're a piece of shit, then aye, fair play.
So what?
It's like kind of like Lesnar. You would never imagine him to be
a nice guy.
Aye,
he is a piece of shit.
Is he?
Well, I've never met him, but if you're shitting in lassies, then allegedly.
That's right, I forgot about that.
Aye.
Kind of lassie with you though. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe
ill repute if you want shit on.
I don't know.
Probably a type.
Aye, but he's got that demeanour of being a bad guy.
Yes.
So you get it. Aye.
So you kind of get it. He's living the gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Probably easier. I'll never change. I'll always be this way.
Who?
I've been trying to hide this bad guy for a long time.
I don't know why you bother.
He just kind of creeps out every once in a while.
You ever been in a jail?
Like sentenced? No.
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 What have you been arrested for?
What? Like everything?
Have you? Because I haven't quite a lot.
Aye.
Is it really?
Aye.
Aye. You quite a lot of things.
Yes.
I think it's all just battering folk.
Nah, no.
Fraud.
Nah, theft. I've been arrested for theft once.
What'd you steal? Vaping stickers.
No, it was wasn't me. Obviously, I never stole anything.
Yeah.
I was accused of stealing some stuff.
For the shops.
No, a factory.
Wow. Did you work there?
Yes.
I believe it.
You believe I stole it?
I believe he's one of the witnesses.
Somebody set up an eBay account with like my name on it, who worked at the factory and was selling stuff for the factory, pretending to be me. But it wasn't me. But my kids had a good Christmas that year.
You ever been tangled with the law?
I've ever been tangled with the law.
You've 100% been lifted.
I've never been lifted.
No.
Never ever.
I tell you what, it does help playing it helps playing a policeman on the telly.
It does. You can't get lifted when you're in your house watching wrestling on Saturday night.
No, I mean I don't
find a way.
I don't go anywhere. I'm by with it, man. I'm happy just sitting.
I'm not going out. I'm just like going about my day-to-day life and the stuff happens.
But you must be doing something.
No, mate, you sound like my missus, eh?
No, I know that. I know I sound like your missus.
They didn't arrest you for nothing. I did, eh? I did, eh? All the time.
That's interesting. Where how long are you married?
No, but I've been with my partner. I've been with her 20 years.
Is that right?
Aye, when we were 16.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's incredible, man.
How's she put up with it?
That is.
Do you know what she says to me the other day? She says, Ross, you're like bipolar as fuck. She's like, one of you I love and see the other one I hate. I was like, that's quality. She's like, I hate that other one.
I always get that, you know, people, Steph, my wife says, I'm quite crabby. Quite a crabby guy.
Are you?
Aye, mate.
Probably tired,
very crabby. I do get crabby, but aye. It's like we Bobo tell you that when I do panel with him, I just can't be fucked out. It is all an act. It is all an act. It's all put on. See, when it once I sit and I fucking moan about everybody, and I'm a wee bit like you. I'm probably more like you, more than what you actually think. How days are?
Nah, okay.
Well, we're coming to the end of it. How long's that been?
I have to say, man, I've really enjoyed this chat because I feel as if I've been more kind of laid back and I had a wee phone call before I come in there and it kind of put me off, to be honest with you, and I thought this is going to be a bit of a graft, but do you know what? It's been really good talking to you. Has it been an alright interview?
Aye, it's been brilliant. I've enjoyed it. We don't care about the end.
Don't care, mate. No here for fucking the public. It's here for Sunday day on a
That
Wednesday.
makes me feel, do you know what I mean? I'm a loser, I'm all.
How?
Hey, we're all losers, mate.
We're all losing, mate.
We just
It's
found
at
our,
different
we just
speeds.
found our niche, didn't we? We just found our niche in life.
I'm fucking
Do
roasting.
you want to plug in, Grado? Big family bash or that? Get your tickets.
I actually, Grado's Big Family Wrestling Bash will be coming back next April. No got a complete date. No got a confirmed date, but that will be back next year. And that's all. And Pint and Two Shots, the podcast, the football podcast. And good luck with your fight next week, mate. I think that'll be brilliant, mate. I think it's amazing. Madison Square Garden.
Just come. Stay with us.
I want to come everywhere.
Yeah. Be none of that.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
it's
you.
a pleasure as always, and we will see you on the actual podcast.